Okay, so right now I want to talk about how getting your power back, controlling your own perception. Now, as much as people say you can create your own reality, most people don't fully 100% create their own realities. Okay? Most people 100% do not 100%, because if that was the case, then um, if I say, now you do create your reality, but a lot of stuff that's being created is you don't know that you're doing it. And then you got to be careful, because somebody else is creating your reality for you too. Because if you are unaware that you can create the reality that you want out of life, if you are unaware of that, then somebody else can come and create your reality for you. And that's what's happening right now for the world, really. This whole thing that I just heard, I was listening to a person, and all of a sudden they talked about lockdown is about to come back soon. And I said, enough is enough. I don't want to deal with that any longer. I don't want to deal with that any longer. And I said, this is supposed to be a simulation. So if this is supposed to be a simulation, it is supposed to be, it is. It's not supposed to be, it is a simulation. Then you're pretty much in a world that is not even real. And you got to deal with lockup and all of the stuff they're telling you to get in order to fly. I pretty much want to remove the blockers so I can just fly myself in the wind. Because I have human programming. And I really am ready to get rid of the human programming, because the human programming is what's causing these type of issues with lockdown. If I didn't behave as a human and become a person who can just get around myself without even a car or anything, there would be no, you lock down all you want to, because I don't need a car, I don't need a plane or a train or nothing. I can just teleport or float over there. So you do all the lockdowns you want. As a matter of fact, you won't even see me floating. I get around, you won't even see me floating. I disappear and appear, and you won't even know what happens. So do all the lockdown away. But that's what I'm talking about, is that so many of us has given so much of our power away, to the point that we don't realize that we don't have to put up with stuff that we don't want to put up with. And I don't mean be combative, go out protesting, marching. Now, some people might do it that way too, and they might get some results. I'm not, but that's not the way that's not the best thing for me to do. Some people have done stuff like that and got results, but that is not the best thing for me to do, because it might not yield that great of results. Trying to do things physically, especially in the matter of this stuff that they're trying to pull out, this other variant, whatever it is, because I didn't look into see what they call it. I don't need to know what they call it. And that's what I'm going to get into, minding my own business. It's other people that have uploaded stuff that I get tempted to look at. I didn't even look at the news about the Maui fires. Do you know I haven't even looked at the news about that yet? I just know people uploaded videos talking about it, but I have yet to look at the news even about the Maui fires, because I go by what I see in visions. I don't listen to what anybody says on the news. I go by what I see in visions. And what I saw in a vision, it was a little hole. And then I said, why am I seeing this hole? Look like it's in Hawaii. Then I saw a vision of a lady, a Hawaiian lady. And that's letting me know it's something that's happening with the people. And whatever has happening to the people is happening underground. Something is going on with them. And I don't know if they're being trafficked or human trafficked or what's going on. But something is going on underground. Something is underneath that area. Something is underground. That's what I didn't see no vision of no fire. I'm sorry. Now, somebody that say, oh, I'm from Maui, I came from there, and yeah, there was a fire. Well, I'll be careful of what I actually see on YouTube or anything else, because people could be paid to act like something is really real. So, like, well, they don't have a reason to lie. No, I would need to meet them in person, and they tell me the whole story, because right now, I'm not seeing a whole lot about fires. I'm seeing human trafficking, and they put stuff on media, and when they put it on media and they give you these images, of course, it's going to seem very real, and it's hard to say it's not real. But and I know I've seen some clips of survivors and stuff like that, and a lot of that are you seeing is a lot of these news channels clips on YouTube showing survivors. I mean, by now you know not to even trust them. By now that you know there has always been a lot of crisis actors. By now we know that. Now, with that being said, I'm going to mind my own business when it comes to whatever they say, whatever they decide to predict, even if it's the weather. I'm to the point where I need to mind my own business. You know how people say mind your own business? And when they say mind your own business, they talking about it in the sense of stay out of somebody else's business. Don't worry about what he or she is doing. You just worry about yourself. Don't worry about them, right? I feel like that's the case with this mess right here, because the stuff that we listen to, the programming, the predictive stuff that's going on when they want to predict the weather, they predict the doggone viruses, they predict that's somebody else's business too. The stuff that's on the news or whatever they saying is happening in your neck of the woods is really their business. It's really their business. It's not my business, it's their business. And it is a business for them. It's an actual business for them. But it's none of my business. And so I realize that I am responsible for my own perception of reality. The same way you are responsible for paying your bills, the same way you are responsible for taking care of yourself, if you can, you know what I mean? The same way you have to take accountability for yourself. Well, I feel like I have to take accountability for my perception too, right? So if I have to take accountability for my perception, then I don't want to perceive any more COVID variants. I don't want to perceive any lockdowns. I don't want that in the perception of reality. Because if I say, well, I might not want to see it, but it's going to happen, that means that somebody else is controlling. That means somebody else has more power. That means that somebody else has more power, because this is a simulation. This is a simulation, and the entities that are doing this type of stuff don't even exist outside of the simulation. They do not exist outside of the simulation. Matter of fact, a lot of us are more real than the so-called elites. A lot of the so-called elites don't even exist outside the simulation, but many of us do. That means we're giving all our power away to some beings that don't even exist, and giving them the power to do all this stuff with these lockdowns and stuff, and they're not even real, and just giving them the power. So, this is what it is. No, it's not what it is. And it's almost like laziness. It's almost like laziness. You know what? I don't want to pay another bill. I don't want to, because guess what? In the spirit world, you don't have to pay bills. I'm talking about the real spirit world, not the astral world. I'm talking about the real spirit world. In the real spirit world, you don't have to pay bills. In the real spirit world, you build whatever you want to. Just create it with your imagination. At least that's what I heard. But I know you don't have to spend no money. So I'm not gonna go working somewhere to make money and have to go work real hard to get little things that I want, when I can be so much better than somebody who has to go to work to pay some bills. I'm so much better than that. I'm so much higher than that. I am. I don't have to perceive this part of the mind of paying bills. I don't have to perceive that part of the mind anymore. I can go to a different perception. I can close the door on that whole perception of paying bills and COVID and lockdowns. Just close the door to that perception. It's just another part of the subconscious mind. I don't have to believe in that. I don't have to perceive that if I don't want to. I have a right to perceive what the hell I want to perceive. I don't even want to perceive that these people like Bill Gates and even them exist anymore. You know what the fear is? A fear comes with the ego saying, well, what you going to do? Well, if you don't perceive all this stuff, what you going to do? Because you're going to need some connection. You see, that's the ego again. I don't care. But that's just me. Well, you need some kind of connection with this, no, why? Why? See, that's the ego. I feel like that's the ego talking. I'm not saying completely toss people to the side like family or friends, but if they're holding you back, I do say kind of separate from them a little bit. But I'm not saying completely don't speak to anybody, because that's not what I do. I talk to people, But at the same time, if I say I want to perceive a world where I don't pay bills, I want to perceive a world where billionaires and giants aren't closing down the mom and pop shops and opening up their own businesses and closing down small shops. I want to perceive a world where there is no COVID, there's no lockdowns, there's no whatever, you know, that other word, the VAX. If I say I want to perceive a world like that, I have a right to want to perceive a world like that. I have a right to want to perceive a world like that. Because if not, that's basically saying you have no power, you have no control, and somebody else controls your entire life. And this part of me that's speaking right now is just a small little part of the mind. It's not even the whole entire person. That's the problem. It's not even the whole entire person. This right here, me speaking, is a small, tiny, little speck of a perception of reality. And a lot of people stay stuck in that little perception of reality with this mess going on. They choose to stay there because they don't understand that they can choose something different. They don't understand that the type of stuff that somebody want to predict on the news, they say it's going to happen, people don't understand that it don't have to happen. And so sometimes it comes true because we believe somebody else's prediction and perceptions over our own. We don't realize that we can do it too. We don't realize that. If I don't want it to rain tomorrow, but the weatherman say it's going to rain, it's going to be cloudy. But if I say I don't want it to rain tomorrow, it don't have to rain. But you have to be strong in who you are. And a lot of people say, well, it won't work. Well, it don't work because you're not strong in who you are. It's not because somebody else who is currently running the so-called world in your particular perception of reality. It's not because they're stronger because people don't know who they are. And they're able to do this stuff and get away with it because people don't know who they are. You know? But anyway, who's that? Oh, I'm looking, being nosy. But anyway, yeah, that's it. I don't have much else to say about that, you know, other than you have a right. And even if it's not perfect right away, it's time to get your power back. It's time to learn how to create the world you want. If you want a world where you don't see that crap happening, all these lockdowns, people are making curfews at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, let me tell you something. The minute somebody makes a curfew, there are no constitutional rights. I know ever since 2020, people have been still talking about their freedom of speech and their constitutional rights. Constitutional rights have been removed. I believe when there is a national emergency like that, whenever there is a national emergency, I forget the exact wording, but whenever there's some type of national emergency, the Constitution gets removed. So when you have stuff like a curfew that's going to take place, there is no Constitution. There's no Constitution. The people's rights. People don't have rights. There are no rights. Not in this particular perception. The people have no rights. That's it. A national emergency was declared in 2020. And when that happened, everybody's rights were removed. There is no Constitution. Allegedly, right? I could be wrong, but allegedly there is no Constitution. Okay? But anyway, with that being said, I'll talk later.